and welcome to 65 Wide. This is your CFL podcast hosted by me, Spencer Strakert. Now, you've read the title. There's no guest this week. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened over the past 2 weeks that, life just gets busy. That's the only way to put it, is that life gets busy. So we don't have a guest this week. We do have quite a few guests lined up for the near future. I'm excited. We've got some insane players, both past and present, and we've also got some fun just CFL commentators that are going to be coming on in the next couple of weeks too. I'm really excited. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun for the podcast. I really appreciate the guests that we've had so far with, everyone from Rene Paredes to Chris Strevler. I mean, we've had really good guests so far. That's meant a whole heck of a lot, let me tell you. But let's talk about what's happening in the league this past week. All right, so first off, the biggest thing is that BC fired their special teams coordinator, Corey McDiarmid, in a statement that included a thank you for his hard work. And I gotta say, I hate when companies say that. Like, if you're gonna actually thank someone for their hard work, you wouldn't fire them. I also gotta say, super weird move. When you have 113 points dumped on you in the first 3 games, that seems like a defensive issue. But yeah, sure, let's blame punt return. The other big news in the league that's kind of shaking things up, Winnipeg traded first-round pick and a conditional 2028 second-round pick for quarterback Drew Brown to the Ottawa Redblacks, and they got their own second-round pick for next year back. I think it's a really interesting trade. I think that it makes sense only because Winnipeg doesn't really have that backup situation nailed down yet. Like Taylor Elgersma is incredible. I mean, the kid is a fantastic quarterback. He definitely needs some more experience. If anything happened to Zach Collaros, it would probably throw off the season because I think it's a good move too because Drew Brown was previously at Winnipeg. It just feels like that's a smart move on their half to ensure that they're going to have consistency throughout the next year. They got their second round pick back. And, realistically, what do they need on their team that they would give up a first round pick for? I don't think there's a whole lot that they're really missing right now. Let's get into some of these game recaps, though. I mean, the first game of the weekend, the only one that I actually was able to watch this week, was the Edmonton Elks and Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Elks took it away 23-18. They jumped to a 17-0 lead before Winnipeg even answered, which was crazy. And then they got 18 straight points to take the lead. And then Edmonton takes it back. It's wild to see Edmonton at 3-0 this year. It hasn't happened since 2017. It's funny that in the caption of the podcast, I say lots of jokes about Edmonton. They've been so good this year, it's been difficult to write jokes about Edmonton. I mean, apart from the actual city itself, the team is playing phenomenally. They're actually a lot of fun to watch, too. I mean, Justin Rankin is just a tank, and their defense is absolutely shutting shit down with just 53 seconds left on the clock, trailing by 1. Cody Fajardo orchestrated this clutch game-winning drive, capped off with an 8-yard touchdown pass to TJ Luther to steal the victory. It was pretty impressive. I gotta say too, Winnipeg showed really good resilience. They completely shut down Edmonton's offense in the second half until that last 53 seconds. Next, we had Toronto taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders in Saskatchewan, but it was a home game for Toronto. None of it makes sense. The whole point is, though, Toronto won 40-34, which is impressive. Biggest play in the game for Toronto, Chad Kelly launching this 21-yard touchdown strike to Taylor Kamen, and it was his second score of the night, where they forced a massive fumble on Saskatchewan. It kind of just helped them establish this lead to 40. The Riders ended up getting a field goal at the end. And I mean, you can't say that Trevor Harris didn't play well. He threw for 409 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's a GOAT quarterback. Both of these guys are incredible quarterbacks that you can't overlook. Now we got to talk about the neutral site touchdown Kelowna, where the Calgary Stampeders finally got a win, 41-33 over the BC Lions. One that I thought was fun was the 56-yard touchdown bomb to Tevin Jones. He beat double coverage on the left sideline and just helped them get that lead. You can't talk about a game with BC, though, and not mention some insane stats from Nathan Rourke. I mean, he threw for 462 yards And still, like, their defense has just been letting them down this year, and it's been really tough to see. But it's not for lack of effort. I mean, their DBs, like I said last week, they're just getting burnt like a ginger in Barbados. All right, in the final game, the Alouettes take down the Red Blacks 37-35. I mean, all four of these games this past weekend were won by a score, which is incredible. Tyson Philpott really showing up. 12 catches for almost 200 yards, 2 yards short of 200 yards to be specific, 198 yards. And, you know, we got to talk about what Ottawa did well. I mean, their special teams were just incredible. Khalil Pimpleton returned a 94-yard touchdown. I mean, that's incredible. That also means that someone won free groceries for a year. I mean, I'm definitely following the Save On Foods free groceries for a year thing. I think that's pretty cool. Pimpleton finished the night with 286 total return yards. That's numbers that an insane running back would be putting up if they were getting the ball on every snap. Jake Maier was also great in the second half. He threw 3 touchdowns to bring them within 2 points of taking it away. I really want to see Jake Maier and the Red Blacks do well. I don't know. I got a soft spot in my heart for Jake Maier. I mean, he was Calgary's quarterback for a while. Obviously went to the Riders last year, was a backup, won the Grey Cup as a backup. Now he's in a starting position again. I just want to see his redemption come through. All right, well, that's everything that we got for this week. It's a really short one. I know that people have said that I need an outro for the podcast. It would be funny to not have an intro and just always end it just very jarringly. Just at the end of an interview, that's just where the podcast ends. So I don't know, I might do that. Who knows, I might end up making an outro. We'll see. We'll see what the next week holds. Tune in next week and we'll see if we have an outro yet or not. But that's going to do it for this week. Like I said, follow us on Instagram, 65 Wide Podcast. If you want to get in touch and sponsor the podcast, 65 Wide Podcast at gmail.com is the place to go. And please make sure that you give us a review. It really does help us out with the algorithm. But that's it. All right, we're going to get out of here.